Of course, we'll bring you all the developments on that front. Moving on to other stories now. A car explosion at the U.S.-Canada border on Thanksgiving Eve. It's triggered a massive security scare in both the countries.
Well, the crash took place on a bridge that links U.S. and Canada. It killed the car's driver and passenger. A Border Patrol officer has also been injured in the process. Now, the incident prompted the closure of 4 U.S. Canadian border crossings as well as Buffalo International Airport in U.S.
Now, the car crash, it's been caught on security camera. The visuals on your screens show how it unfolded. You can see the car traveling at a very high speed. It then hits an object and then is flung into the air before crashing to the ground and exploding in flames.
Now, these are some eyewitness footage accounts that have captured the fiery crash. The 2 deceased in the incident have not been identified yet, but some U.S. media reports mention that the driver was a 56-year-old man who was on his way to a rock concert with his wife.
The bridge where the crash took place, it's called the Rainbow Bridge. It's a major border crossing. The bridge connects the cities of Niagara Falls in New York and Niagara Falls in Ontario, Canada. U.S. federal and state authorities have ruled out a link to terrorism in the incident. However, its cause, it's yet to be determined.
At this time, there is no indication of a terrorist attack. Let me repeat that. At this time, there is no indication of a terrorist-involved attack here at the Rainbow Bridge in Western New York. At 11:27 this morning, a car going at a very high rate of speed crashed into a median at Niagara Street just minutes from here. It's in the city of Niagara Falls, near one of the border crossings into Canada, the Rainbow Bridge.
Meanwhile, authorities on both sides of the border have activated emergency responses. The access roads to the crossing are flooded with emergency service workers and vehicles. U.S. President Joe Biden has been briefed and he is closely following all the developments. While Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told Parliament that the situation is very serious.
Mr. Speaker, this is obviously a very serious situation in Niagara Falls. There was a vehicle explosion at the Rainbow Bridge crossing. I've been briefed by the NSIA and the Minister of Public Safety. CBSA, RCMP, and Transport Canada are all fully engaged in providing the necessary support. There are a lot of questions, and we are following up to try and get as many answers as rapidly as possible.
Now, the timing of this incident, it sparked major concerns. The ongoing war in West Asia is being feared of sparking terror attacks worldwide. Separately, U.S. holiday traffic also peaks during Thanksgiving.
All the 3 other border crossings that were shut after the incident have now been reopened, along with the Buffalo International Airport. However, the Rainbow Bridge crossing remains closed.
Now, for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani explains to us what the exact details of this incident are. Listen in.
The White House has been briefed on the situation, as has the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who announced that 4 points of entry from Canada to the United States have now been closed. The Buffalo Airport is also closed to all international flights. You can imagine how that affects other airports around the country on one of the most busiest travel days in the United States, Thanksgiving Eve. Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, just said a few hours ago that state troopers as well as the NYPD are assisting the FBI, which is investigating this deadly incident which killed 2 people.
Susan also spoke about and shared her views on the security measures and concerns in New York, notably in New York City, especially on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, we still don't know what caused that explosion at the U.S.-Canada border. It does come on the eve of the annual Thanksgiving parade here in New York City. And while officials had earlier said that there were no credible threats to the parade, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI and other agencies said that the Israeli-Hamas war, quote, has created a heightened threat environment that makes the parade a quote unquote attractive target. Now, the assessment also noted that Al-Qaeda has called on its followers to attack American, British, and French national, as well as the Jewish people everywhere, using public events as their backdrop. New York Governor Kathy Hochul earlier in the week said that New York City is on the state of heightened alert, not only because of the Thanksgiving Day parade, but also because it is the holiday season. She also said it would be very naive to think that what's happening overseas wouldn't bleed into states here, notably New York City. She said that we had been targeted before, however, we are very prepared. Officials are calling for growing concern and vigilance regarding lone wolf actors that may use unsophisticated means to cause havoc, wreak havoc. And those unsophisticated means, they say, are actually more difficult to detect.